It's Thursday of the week 4 of all of this, so we're getting closer to that week 6 mark finally for the next chat with the surgeon. Just off to the sports physician. I'm not really sure what I'm seeing him for this morning. Tally up another $150 into his pocket, but yeah, he wants to check up on me, and then I'm straight into the physio in his practice after that. I'm looking forward to the physio, because whilst I've just posted on my Insta, like, yeah, I'm feeling human. As you can see, I've washed and done my hair for the first time in 4 weeks. I was actually able to get my arm up to blow dry my hair last night. This morning I just ran the straightener through it. There's no way I could have blow dried it this morning, because I still wake up quite stiff. I'm gauging the pain at about a 5 to 10. So I think after 4 weeks, you pretty much become used to the pain. So it's really hard to kind of gauge when I'm asked by the surgeon, where is it out of a 10? Because you just become quite used to it, like as if it's just something that you have to now live with. So I'm not feeling normal. I still don't have feeling, whilst the happiness on my Insta posting, I think it's important to keep doing these videos so that you can see behind the scenes of what's going on for me, for this prep. I will be returning to work on Monday, so that makes me happy that I can start working again. A quite lengthy appointment just finished with my sports specialist, Dr. George Pitzis. So yeah, he has a student in their learning, and he assessed me, and it's pretty obvious to me that I've literally got no strength. He's like, oh, there is some strength. And I'm like, dude, seriously, do you know how much I lift? Like, I've got nothing. There's absolutely no strength in my, as far as I'm concerned, in my tricep, bicep as well, on my right side. I've got the pain in my right scapula, right rhomboid area, and also that lateral pectoral nerve was absolutely caning during the whole time that this kid was assessing me. So he said not to be hell-bent on getting surgery. The thing is that, as I said to him, and he thought that the nerve pain was only like the last few weeks, where it hasn't been. It's been over a month. So that sort of sent a few alarm bells to him, and I did say I'm worried about permanent damage. So he tried to rush me into, and I kind of wish that I rung and spoke to him and said that I couldn't get in for the nerve block until tomorrow, because he did try to rush me in to get in today somewhere, which he couldn't. But if I had have called him last week, he would have got me in by now. So anyway, we're still due to have that tomorrow. Depending on how I pull up from that will depend on my decision whether I drive up to Cessnock or not on Saturday. So we'll see about that. In terms of recovery from this, I spoke to him as well, that I'm really quite concerned. I said, you know, my ego's taken a bit of a bashing here. I can't lift anything with my arm. It's going to take some time. So I'm a bit upset about that. I mean, look, I didn't expect to go back in and be lifting as much as I was, and bicep curling as much as I was, or even getting anything over my head. But it sounds like it's going to be a lot longer than what I sort of preempted. So I'm a bit concerned about that. And I said to him, I don't really want to wait and just see after this spinal injection and not get surgery if the numbness is still there, because it's going to put me back. And I'm of an age where, like, I want to compete overseas in 2 to 3 years time. That then gets pushed further away, and I don't really want to be 50 and still chasing this dream to go overseas and compete. So yeah, time is ticking. Tick tick tick. That age thing catches up with you, and it's coming in full force. This morning I noticed that, like, my eyes are starting to droop. talking to my mum about my eyes. I need to get Botox like everybody else now to get my eyes to lift back up to a normal position. Anyway, that's the next thing. We'll deal with my degenerated back first. And with the nerve thing yesterday too, there was like, the sensation was funny. I was vacuuming in my bedroom and I had my door open and it was really sunny, and I thought it was raining, and I'm looking at my arm going, oh, I can feel raindrops falling on my arm. Well, it wasn't raining and there was no raindrops. It was my nerves having a little dance party in my forearm. So appointment with Pizzas went for so long that I completely lost my physio appointment. So we're down a physio appointment, so I might go for a massage just to get some relief today. I am quite sore down the side, down the lateral side on the right, like in my ribs. Lily did give it a good rub the other night and she could even feel in there, and she was just saying, oh my God, Mum, like something doesn't feel right in there. It's not even midnight yet and I'm already up with the heat bag. It's been a few nights since I've woken up in pain, but it's just over the constant throbbing today. It's not as bad, the pain, as what it has been at night, but I'm just so over it. So it's injection day, and yeah, I'm starting to feel a little bit nervous now. I've been okay about it all up until now, and now that it's like 10 minutes away from having to leave to go. Anyway, so I did go to the gym this morning to get some cardio and some training in. I arrived feeling a little bit shit, to be honest, and I was feeling a little bit under the weather. My arm was quite heavy this morning, and the numbness in my fingers was pretty full on, and I was feeling quite a little bit hopeless, to be honest. I was knowing that I wanted to train my upper body and do the rehab. So anyway, I had a chat with one of the PTs downstairs who I just did photos with, Danielle. She's just an amazing soul. We really connected on a level while I did her photos. We speak the same language, which is really, really comforting to have had that conversation with her this morning, because after I left, I went and got on the stepper, and I was just kind of like, well, you know what? This is it. This is what you've got, Sky. Deal. You can either let it kill you or you can cope. So while I'm talking, even now, my arm's throbbing, pins and needles in my hand. However, my legs still fine. The rest of my body on the left is good and my legs are good. So as I was on the stepper, I just kept saying to myself, Rod, you can't train your upper body as productively as you can. I am phenomenally happy with my legs this season. My message to Charlie this morning was like, wow, I'm so happy with my legs. So I just keep training legs. We need to build bigger glutes. So while I'm impeded on the upper body, especially on the right side, there's nothing wrong with me training my legs and my glutes. Obviously I can't squat, but I don't squat anyway. So yeah, that's one thing that I can sort of start to promote a little bit more during my videos and things from here on in, is my progress over the last 2 years with Charlie. I haven't squatted once. So people that have this mindset over squat being the beacon of the be all and end all for leg development, I think you've all seen how much my legs have developed over the last year, especially. So squats aren't necessarily the be all and end all. So anything that loads on my neck I can't do, and I will be needing to avoid for quite some time. Anyway, so yeah, my mindset now is turning every negative thought into a positive thought, and moving forward, looking forward to what it's actually like to having a day without pain, because it's now been 5 weeks.
which is a long time. It does wear you down, it makes you tired. You kind of start wondering what it's like without it, without a throbbing arm, a constant throbbing arm. So yeah, as for the comp tomorrow, I have decided that no, I'm not going to do it. Federations with bodybuilding are a little bit like your hairdresser, and you don't like cheating on your hairdresser. I don't want to cheat on my federation either. So I am an IFBB girl. I have been for my whole comp career pretty much. So I won't be travelling up to Cessnock tomorrow. I really don't think it's in my best interest anyway after today, and I need to rest. And I'd prefer to actually train for the competition that I really want to go well in. So yeah. Another thing I wanted to touch on was the hesitance of the surgery with me. And when I spoke to the specialist yesterday, and he was sort of like, oh well, no, you know, this can fix itself still. And I said, well, what's the time span of that? If I'm looking at 2 bulging discs, how long does that take to actually heal itself? And he's talking months, like 6 months. And I said to him, I don't think you're taking me seriously in me as an athlete. I can't have 6 months off. I can't have 6 months of not training, and I can't have 6 months of not being able to use my triceps. So all of I noticed this morning, I had a really good arm session, shoulder session, and I did notice as I tested a few things out myself where the lack of strength is, and that is all in my tricep. So yeah, I can't have that amount of time off. And while I might not be the biggest figure girl in Australia, I am one of the figure girls who's been on the stage for the last 5 years. And without people like me who keep turning up, and without athletes on stage, those federations wouldn't exist. So I'm kind of trying to explain to him that this is important. It's important for me, and it's important for bodybuilding in Australia, that like we're taken seriously as athletes. If I was an NRL player, I would be put on the table tomorrow and fixed. So just because my sport is not as promoted, or people don't know me as well, or I'm not a celebrity athlete, it doesn't mean that me as an athlete doesn't matter as much as somebody who is on a high pay scale. It doesn't mean that my commitment to my sport is any less. It doesn't mean that my drive towards my sport is any less, or that my sport is any more irrelevant to anybody else's. So that's a little bit of a fight that I have with the specialist and the surgeon, I feel, in taking me as an athlete seriously. I'm just woken up from sleeping for about an hour and a half. So today was a nerve block day. Don't know what's with today. My arm is feeling worse. So anyway, yeah, the nerve block hurt. He had to give me 3 lots of anesthetic into my neck. So they take you into the MRI machine, and then they check you out, and the doctor comes in and puts a mark where he wants to go in as to where the nerves are that he wanted to hit. Coming from my C7. Yeah, so you get an anesthetic first, a local anesthetic, and then there's a screen up there. You could see the needle going into my neck. I stopped watching that pretty quick. He then put a dye in there so we could see what was going on. And as soon as he started to inject the steroid and the anesthetic into the nerve, I could feel it. It was like a big, heavy, sort of warm feeling I could feel coming into here. I screamed, and he stopped immediately, gave me more anesthetic to try and numb it. Tried again, I could feel it again, gave me more anesthetic. I'm like, oh my god. I started to get a bit worried, and I was crying, and but the doctor was really, really good. So
he assured me that, you know, he would make sure that he got it in there pain-free for me.